In the grand theater of Parisian fashion, where bold statements often overshadow subtle artistry, Nina Ricci carved a different path. She didn't chase headlines or court scandal. Instead, she listened to fabric, to form, to the quiet, unspoken needs of the women she dressed. Her story isn't one of dramatic upheavals or wild reinventions, but of a steady, unwavering belief. Fashion should feel like home, even when it's worn on a stage as grand as Paris. Her legacy was built on an intuitive understanding of women's desires. At a time when designers often imposed their vision onto their clients, Ricci allowed the wearer's personality to shine through. She believed that a dress should never wear the woman. Rather, it should serve as an extension of her individuality. In an industry known for flamboyant egos, Nina Ricci remained a quiet, observant force. Her name might not be as frequently invoked as some of her contemporaries, yet her influence remains deeply woven into the fabric of modern fashion. Maria Nielli was born in Turin, Italy, in 1883. Her early years were unremarkable in the grand narrative of fashion history. No grand salons, no sketches pinned to bedroom walls. But there was one constant: fabric. Her mother, a skilled dressmaker, introduced her to the craft, and the young Maria quickly grasped that cloth was more than mere material. It was a medium of expression. When the Nielli family moved to France in the early 1890s, Maria was just a child. The transition was anything but glamorous. They settled in Nice, a city that, while picturesque, was also home to many immigrant families struggling to find their place. This early experience of displacement planted in Maria a deep understanding of the subtle ways clothing could offer a sense of belonging. By the age of 13, she was apprenticing at a local dressmaking atelier. Unlike other apprentices who dutifully followed patterns, Maria often asked, "Why does this cut flatter one woman but not another?" She learned to observe posture, movement, and even mood. Her mentors noticed her intuitive grasp of proportion and texture, a skill that would later become her hallmark. Her personal life also took root in France. She married Luigi Ricci, an Italian jeweler, and together they had a son, Robert. With her new family came a new identity. Her loved ones affectionately called her Nina, and the name stuck. Professionally, she became Nina Ricci, a woman whose work would later embody both precision and poetry. In 1932, Nina Ricci, with her son Robert's encouragement, opened her own fashion house in Paris. The timing was audacious. The Great Depression had stifled consumer spending, and many designers hesitated to launch new ventures. But Robert, with his sharp business acumen, believed that well-made, emotionally resonant clothing would always find an audience. The Ricci Atelier, located on Rue des Capucines, quickly gained a reputation for its inviting atmosphere. Unlike other salons, where clients were often intimidated by an air of exclusivity, Nina's workspace felt accessible. She personally greeted her customers, listening to their stories and understanding their insecurities. Her design philosophy stood apart from the rigid glamour dominating the era. While contemporaries like Elsa Schiaparelli embraced surrealist experimentation and Coco Chanel championed androgynous simplicity, Ricci pursued an almost sculptural approach to femininity. Her garments followed the body's natural lines rather than forcing it into artificial shapes. Soft pleats, flowing fabrics, and clever draping became her signature. One regular client once said, "A Ricci dress doesn't transform you into someone else. It helps you rediscover yourself." Unlike some designers who saw their creations as statements to impose upon the world, Nina Ricci approached her work as a collaborative process. She often invited clients into fittings without preconceived sketches. Instead, she draped fabric directly onto their bodies, adjusting until the garment seemed to come alive. Her muses were not distant aristocrats or abstract ideals. They were the women she encountered daily. Working women who wanted dignity in their professional attire. Socialites who craved elegance without ostentation. Brides hoping for dresses that would feel timeless decades later. Fashion critic Louise de Villemorin once wrote of Ricci's designs, "Her dresses do not scream from across the room. They murmur secrets that only the wearer and her closest circle can hear." The 1940s brought war to Europe's doorstep, and Paris, once the uncontested fashion capital, found itself under occupation. Materials were rationed, ateliers struggled, and luxury became a distant memory for most. Yet, Ricci persisted. She streamlined operations and continued creating clothes that brought moments of normalcy amid chaos. Robert Ricci, ever the strategist, saw an opportunity in fragrance. In 1946, as the world began piecing itself back together, he commissioned L'air du temps. The perfume's name, the air of time, captured the collective yearning for peace. The bottle, with its twin doves sculpted by Marc Lalique, became instantly recognizable. But it was the scent, a luminous blend of carnation, jasmine, and rose, that truly resonated. It symbolized hope, a lightness after the war's heaviness. This foray into perfumery extended the Ricci name beyond the salon, cementing its place in global popular culture. Who was the Ricci woman? Unlike many designers who crafted collections for idealized muses, distant aristocrats, Hollywood starlets, or abstract archetypes, Nina Ricci designed for real women. Her clients weren't passive canvases for her artistic whims. They were active collaborators in the creative process. Ricci's Atelier became known for its intimate fittings, where clients were encouraged to share their feelings about the clothes. Nina often adjusted garments not just based on aesthetic principles, but on the wearer's posture and expressions. If a woman shifted uncomfortably in a stiff bodice or hesitated when seeing herself in the mirror, Ricci would quietly rework the design. This attentive, almost therapeutic approach to dressmaking gave her clientele a rare sense of agency. In an era when many women were still navigating restrictive societal expectations, Ricci's garments offered a subtle form of liberation. They allowed women to present themselves authentically, rather than conforming to rigid fashion dictates. Her clients came from diverse backgrounds. Parisian socialites who wanted elegance without ostentation. Aspiring professionals seeking garments that balanced authority with grace. Artists and intellectuals drawn to Ricci's understated yet expressive aesthetic. Unlike Chanel, who famously sought to break the mold with masculine-inspired cuts, Ricci embraced a distinctly feminine softness. However, her femininity was never saccharine or superficial. It was strength wrapped in silk, power expressed through fluidity. Nina Ricci often said that fabric spoke to her. While some designers began with sketches, she began with textiles. She would run her fingers over bolts of silk, tweed, and muslin, waiting for inspiration to emerge from the material itself. In a 1947 interview, she explained, "A designer must listen twice, once to the woman, once to the fabric. When both voices are heard, the dress creates itself." This intuitive process led to signature techniques like asymmetrical draping and soft sculptural folds. She mastered the art of bias cutting, a technique that allowed fabric to cling and flow naturally. The result? Dresses that appeared effortless, even though hours of meticulous craftsmanship went into each piece. As the war ended and Paris sought to reclaim its fashion dominance, Nina Ricci found herself navigating a rapidly changing industry. Christian Dior's new look, introduced in 1947, swept through fashion like wildfire. Its cinched waists and voluminous skirts contrasted starkly with Ricci's more organic silhouettes. Yet rather than resist this new aesthetic, she adapted. Her post-war collections featured slightly more structured forms, but they never sacrificed wearability. While Dior's designs sometimes felt like costumes for a grand stage, Ricci's pieces remained grounded in the rhythms of daily life. Robert Ricci's marketing savvy also helped the brand stay relevant. In the late 1940s, he organized traveling exhibitions that showcased Parisian couture to American audiences. Nina Ricci dresses, with their quiet sophistication, found eager admirers across the Atlantic. American women, weary of wartime austerity but wary of excessive opulence, gravitated toward Ricci's balanced elegance. By the late 1940s, L'air du temps had become a global sensation. But why did it resonate so deeply? Beyond its floral composition, the perfume embodied post-war optimism. Its twin dove bottle, crafted by Lalique, symbolized peace, a sentiment that resonated universally. Fashion historian Carolyn Evans later noted, "L'air du temps wasn't just a scent. It was a collective sigh of relief after years of darkness. It captured the mood of a world rediscovering lightness." The success of the perfume provided financial stability, allowing the Ricci house to experiment with more ambitious collections in the 1950s. By the 1950s, Nina Ricci had become a revered figure in Parisian fashion circles. Yet she never adopted the flamboyant persona that characterized many of her peers. While Balenciaga cultivated an aura of mysterious genius and Dior basked in international acclaim, Ricci remained a reserved maternal presence in her atelier. Her workroom was her sanctuary. She often wore simple, well-tailored suits and pearls, clothing that reflected her pragmatic personality. Her staff described her as exacting but fair, someone who expected excellence but never demanded it through harshness. The Ricci Atelier became renowned for its craftsmanship. Each dress passed through multiple stages of development, with seamstresses specializing in delicate tasks like lace insertion or pleat construction. Ricci herself maintained a near-obsessive focus on finishing details. She believed that even unseen elements, like the interior seams of a gown, deserved perfection. This commitment to quality earned the brand a loyal clientele. Unlike trend-chasing collections, Ricci's garments retained their appeal season after season. Many clients spoke of passing their dresses down to daughters and nieces, a testament to both the physical durability and aesthetic longevity of the designs. By the late 1950s, Nina Ricci gradually retreated from active design work. She entrusted the creative direction to a new generation of designers while Robert oversaw business strategy. Her physical presence in the atelier waned, but her influence remained palpable. Nina Ricci passed away in 1970, leaving behind not just a business, but a design philosophy rooted in empathy and intuition. The House of Nina Ricci continued evolving after her death, guided by a series of creative directors who each interpreted her ethos through a contemporary lens. Yet the core remained unchanged. Garments designed not to impress from afar, but to resonate deeply with the wearer. In the 21st century, as fashion grows increasingly experimental and digitalized, Ricci's legacy endures in the enduring appeal of subtle craftsmanship and emotional connection.